And who is in the building with me? We talking about grub. We talk about, and you know I throw down, right? I throw down. And these young people, they got this barbecue joint. It's called Smokey Cheltenham's Barbecue. And we're gonna have Jay Gordon on the line. He's gonna tell us all about his business, what got him started, where's his passion, and how did that happen? You know, we got a whole bunch of folk that's gonna have enjoy. I have to tell you, I have enjoyed the food. Really, I mean, it's good to know that there's somebody out there in LA that loves cooking. There's a lot of people that love cooking, and they got restaurants, and sometimes I don't know how they got a restaurant, but I see how these young people got a restaurant and how they are enjoying themselves. And in Los Angeles, what I found out, a lot of people, they can't cook or they don't cook. The fast food residents, the fast food restaurants are, and doing great things because a lot of these young people can't cook. They don't cook. I was teaching my son how to cook when he was like 12 or 13. And his father, who is one of those diehard, no, the women need to cook. The woman should be in the kitchen. I'm like, dude, be quiet. And he was saying, and I asked my husband when we were dating, I said, how come you don't know how to cook? And he goes, I saw all them people in your family. He goes, my mother and my sister do the cooking, and my father, he didn't have to cook, and he had 2 brothers and 5 sisters. Is that right? Well, it was 7 of them. It's 7 of them, and they did all the cooking. He didn't have to do any of that, and to this day, bless his heart, I love him dearly. We try to keep him out the kitchen. He got good at making breakfast and what have you. And he makes a mean scrambled egg. He been learning how to flip the eggs, to turn them into an omelet. So I'm very proud of the progress that he made. But trying to get this dude to learn how to cook macaroni and cheese and baked beans and ribs and hot links and chicken and smoked oh, that was the stuff. That's the stuff all on the menu at Smokey Cheltenham's barbecue place. It's called, and they smoke everything. I don't think I've ever had, or I don't remember, so it was not memorable that I had smoked chicken wings. Now I will listen. I'm a chicken wing queen, and I'm still kind of ticked off at the restaurants. They cut off the little tip on the chicken wing, and then they cut the chicken wing in half, and they call them drumettes and flats. It's a chicken wing, and they're selling you one chicken wing for $3. The Jay and his family over there at Cheltenham's Barbecue, they know how to smoke some chicken. And it's a good thing. I can only eat a little bit at a time. And see, this is, I'm gonna show y'all. It's on my little plate. Dude sent me some macaroni and cheese. He sent me the smoked salmon is the bomb. I'm talking about the P diggity baked beans that I can actually eat. And this my smoked chicken wing. Okay, the other part of it I ate off already. So, and he cut the wing off, but you still get a whole wing. Okay, they said don't be eating on camera. Can you help myself? And just the fact that he and his family got together and said, we're gonna open up our own place. We're gonna open up and we should be chewing and talking. No, I can't chew and talk. Okay, I know I can't. Hold on, y'all. Y'all don't want to see Mother Love choke today. Choking is not on the menu. Barbecue spare ribs and y'all know Prime Black. He couldn't wait. He didn't just put his foot on the plate. He put the pan on the plate. I said, you didn't even wait. No, I couldn't wait. My stomach he was hangry. And I'm telling you, they sent cornbread muffins, they sent macaroni and cheese, they sent baked beans, smoked hot links, and barbecue ribs, and I don't eat beef and pork, so Trey did that for us, and he said, "What'd you say it was, Trey? How good was the food?"
It was good.
That's probably because he's so full right now, and so when you get into the business, especially of food, because from what I hear, statistically speaking, they say most restaurants fail in the first 5 years. And again, I want to know different things. What got you into this? Where are you? Okay, and why are you doing this? Because there's a lot of barbecue places around, and like I said, some of them shouldn't be. Well, I would never be a patron because I can cook and I know good food when I taste good food, and I know when people. One of the things they do out here And in a lot of restaurants, they are heavily salted. The food is so salty, and then like I don't cook with salt. I don't cook with salt. I don't have to cook with salt. I can there's a scabillion other herbs to use besides salt. And I'm one of my favorite restaurants that I absolutely adored. And I went there one time and haven't been in years because the food is so salty. And when you don't cook with salt, and salt is in a lot of stuff. Look on the back of at the ingredients, as the little girl say. Look at the ingredients, and you could see salt. There is salt and high fructose corn syrup. And I have a very delicate palate as it is, because I cook, and I know what's in the food, and I know that this food that they sent over from Smokey Cheltenham's barbecue joint. Do you call it a barbecue joint or a barbecue pit, barbecue restaurant? Well, they got grub over there, whatever you want to call it. And it's a very unique name. Okay, I'm just looking like my sister. Good thing she ain't ugly. Uh, Shut up, mother love. Uh, okay, I'm trying to get the rest of the food down. What got them into barbecue? Because a lot, like I said, and there are restaurants out here that don't get the recognition, don't get the credit they deserve. Don't, they always think that, whatever it is. And most of the time it's just a little family restaurant tucked away in the neighborhood, and everybody and their mother in the neighborhood knows where they are, and they come because the food is good. And this food, I have to say, and I don't give out a lot of accolades on food and what have you. I'm careful about people, and leery about people that put a lot of salt in their food, especially in restaurants. Not them. Not them. They found the right kind of balance, the right balance. The macaroni and cheese is not weighted down. The baked beans, okay. You know what they say about beans? Beans be good for your heart. The more you eat, the better you feel. Eat them beans at every meal. And this is a good balance. It's a good balance. And that's what I appreciate. You can throw some greens off on there, some green beans, some cabbage, whatever you want to put. To make sure that you're eating well. And you're seeing, one of my things that when I eat, I have always been a slow eater. All my life, I was a slow eater. And that's why I didn't gain any weight when I was growing up, because I turned my head, be having a conversation at the table, I turn back. One of my brothers is pulling the rest of the chicken off the chicken leg. I'm like, why would you eat off my plate? Well, you eating too slow. What do you mean I'm eating too slow? I didn't think you wanted it. You was taking your time. You take a bite, you put it on the plate. You take a bite, you put it on the plate. That's how you're supposed to eat. And saying with this food, wait a minute, can I put it up? Okay. It got some indentations in it because I was trying to wait until he came on the program with me so I could share with them what it is. And I'm still gonna do that in real time. And the salmon, you could fix salmon so many different ways, and oftentimes people overcook. They overcook the food or they undercook the food or whatever it is. This is perfectly like tender and flaky. And I don't know, they could have put spit on it and slapped it on there, because I know I'm gonna get a toenail in there someplace, because you don't get food this good and somebody ain't put their foot in it. They put their feet, FEETS. They use food. They see, you notice a live show. There you go. They ain't even tell me I have food on my face. I done licked it off now. I licked it off. And that's the kind of plate. If you're a baby boomer like I am, we grew up and we had to be part of the Clean Plate Kids club. You had to eat everything on your plate because that'll let them know that you liked it, and that you had to eat and they weren't fixing. They weren't, no, I don't like liver. I don't like broccoli. I don't want to eat that. No. You ate what was put on the table. And when you put this kind of food on your table, you're going to be doing yourself and your family a great service. And the best thing about it, not only is it good food and it's good eating, I didn't have to cook it. And that's a big thing, because I cook every day. Usually I cook breakfast and dinner. Okay. And so today it was kind of like Dutch, because I ate it a little while ago for lunch, and then it's early enough for it to be part of my dinner, because this ain't going to waste. I might eat slow, but it will be gone directly. And It's always good when you can find that little special place in the neighborhood. Get that little one that's tucked away, and you. I bet you half of the people have a problem pronouncing the name Smokey Cheltenham's barbecue joint. So I bet you they know where it is, and I bet you they know what's on the menu. I bet you they know they're gonna get some good food. They're gonna eat well, and it's gonna be well. Mm-mm. Okay, I almost said something real bad. That's not my teeth. Is that my gum? Oh, that's the. Okay, see, this is what happened when you get to be my age. You see stuff on your face, and it's the light. Isn't that the light? That's on too. Oh no, that's okay. Now you just being crazy. The food is good. Uh, all of it's good. Just wait. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Okay, I can't hear. Oh, here we go. Some information about your diabetes and take. Sup, y'all? Smothered Love here, baby. I just want to come to you with some information about your diabetes and taking care of yourself. Look, I don't watch this equal opportunity destroyer take out half of my family members. I don't want to see it happen to you because I know what that's like. I had to make some healthy lifestyle changes and some hard choices. I don't want to get no pieces, parts cut off, go blind, have to be on dialysis. And I have been on a mission ever since then to educate people everywhere. It's up to you to make sure you are managing your diabetes and you are involved. You got to make your PhD, boo. Make your personal health decisions. And I'm a host of D-Life TV and everything. I know what I'm talking about. And I cannot wait to help you flip the focus on how you're going to take care of your diabetes. I'm out. Sup, y'all? Smothered Love. I'm on Monday through Friday from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Follow me at The Mother Love Show. I can be heard on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer. This is Amazon Music. I know. I just have to know what the logos are. iHeartRadio, Restream, Facebook, Twitter. I love the way the British say. I'm on Twitter and the whole 9 yards. These are where you can reach me. Just look at the list. I'll just tell it for you for those of you who might not be in front of your computer, but you are in the sound of my voice. You can find me on Facebook at The Mother Love Show, on X at Mother Love Show, and YouTube at Mother Love Show, on TikTok, The Mother Love Show, on Instagram, the at Mother Love Show, and on Indeed at The Mother Love Show. So you can't say, well, I don't know where Mother Love is. Yes, you do. All you got to do is look me up. And what does he say? I'm Googleable. And that's actually a word. That means that you can be Googled. So I hope that you all will check me out on these social media platforms and enjoy the conversation. You can even get involved in the conversation. I have a phone number. They pay the bill. It's 929-477-3088. Again, that's 929-477-3088. And so where am I? Okay. Okay. So just check me out. Wait a minute. And I know y'all saw that silly video on TikTok. And if you haven't, you gotta check it out. And I'm just prefacing this, but you're going to see my vocal skills as the worst singer you probably ever heard in your life. But it's with passion. It's with love, because that's what we all need, is some love. Too bad I don't know how to play it. I wish I knew how to play it, because it is so silly. Don't play it. He said don't play it. Go to the TikTok and see it. Okay, it is hilarious. And so we were talking about this. I want to find out how new it is. Smokey Cheltenham's barbecue. It's Shelton, Cheltenhams. That's another one. Shut up, Mother Love. Behave yourself. And get the skinny on them and see what's going on with them. That's all we want to do. We want to make sure that everybody knows about it. Everybody has the address. That I give you the address, because you can follow them on social media, on Facebook at Smokey Cheltenham's BBQ, and on Instagram at the same handle at Smokey Cheltenham's BBQ. Their number is 520-216-8554. So maybe if I should call him, can I call him? Let's see what happened. Okay, don't call him. Don't call. Well, just wait for him to come in and find out what's going on. Now I'm gonna tell you some of my BBQ stories. When I was pregnant, God rest her soul, when I was pregnant with our son, and this is in March in Ohio, and I was in Ohio. We lived in Columbus at the time, Columbus, Ohio, and I went to see my folks, and I was sitting up, and I had this craving. I mean, it was just like I didn't want to eat anything. And for women who have been pregnant, you know how it is when you get that taste in your mouth. Nothing else, you don't want anything else. You really don't. You want that thing. And I wanted some of my sister's barbecue spare rib. This girl could, my brother could barbecue too. All of them can cook. And my sister got out there, and I was like, yo, I want some ribs. I want some barbecue ribs. I don't want it from no restaurant. I want you to make it. In the dead of winter in February, she said, okay, I'll barbecue some ribs. You got to get a case because you got to share with everybody. I'm like, I don't have no problem with that. My sister got up, got out, rolled that barbecue barrel out on the front porch because we were barbecuing in the back. She rolled it out on the front porch. Put it in the yard because it was on snow. She put it in the yard and she put on her boots, what we called them galoshes back then. She put on her galoshes over her shoes. She put on her winter coat and she went out there and cooked. She must have cooked 6, 7 slabs of ribs. I ate it. It took me all day. I told you I eat slow all day, and I was eating and I was chewing, and it was so good. The meat was just falling off the bone. She didn't even have to make barbecue sauce. Oh, speaking of barbecue sauce, the Smokey Cheltenham's barbecue sauce, it's on point too. And I can make some barbecue sauce. I just want to put that little tidbit in there for you. My sister went out there and cooked the whole case of ribs, and she put a plate in front of me. I mean, it's a slab. Remember when they used to be like slabs like this big? I don't know what they're doing to the hogs now. And she went out there in the snow in the middle of February and fixed her pregnant, crazy sister barbecue spare ribs. I ate the whole slab. I ate the whole, and I was in hog heaven. And see, when you're pregnant, you can eat, and it took me like 2 or 3 hours to eat it, but still, I ate the whole slab. And if anybody came over, want to get some of my, they're gonna get the fork. They're like, she crazy. When she having that baby, she'll stab us with a fork over some ribs. I said, try it. Don't come over here. Don't even come looking this way. And she would do that. She did that for me, and that was one of the things. Besides her pimping me out, as her entertainment when she threw cabaret parties. Oh yeah, I've been pimped out by my parents. I'm like, and she wouldn't even tell me she was putting me on the ticket. Had put on the ticket, Mother Love, Cleveland's own Mother Love, and she put in parentheses, that's my sister. So I mean, her events would be sold out. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I do this for money, right? She said, you my sister, I ain't giving you no money to do this. I said, so what? Now you my pimp? She's like, whatever you want me to be. And she would throw these, she did so many great things in the community. That's why community and neighbors are important to me, because you never know. You won't know who's in your neighborhood unless you go out and explore it. And we knew everybody in the neighborhood, and everybody knew my sister. She was like the Pied Piper of teenagers. She was a camp counselor. She only wanted to be the counselor till like 12 and up. She didn't want the little kids. She wanted 12 and up. And she literally molded a lot of the young people in my neighborhood. And just like Smokey Cheltenham's, you never know who's watching you. You never know who's seeing what you're doing. And now we see the end of it, of the pretty stuff. They don't ever see the grunt work. They don't ever see, oh my God, when you fall on your face. They don't see that. And that's what separates the professionals from the amateurs, because professionals make it look easy. Don't LeBron James make basketball look easy? I mean, I couldn't go out there and do that. Just like people say, Mother Love, when they would come on my show and be a guest, they would say, oh, Mother Love, I could be a talk show host. I said, it's a lot more than what you think it is. Well, you could do it. I said, I've been doing this for quite some time. This is not just fall off the back of the talk show truck. This has been in the making since 1974. That's how long I have been in radio. I've been in talk radio since 1989. And you got to get your medal. You got to fall down. And luckily and prayerfully and thankful, I'm thankful to my God, because he said, I didn't bring you this far just to bring you this far. Oh, daughter, you got a whole lot of work to do. And small business owners, they understand this. They know that you got to get in there and get the grind going. And you could tell when somebody has a passion for it, or when somebody just do it because it looks easy, and they realize, oh, this is not easy. You don't know what's going to happen. This guy, he got to keep up with the pig market, did I just say the pig market? Well, with the hogs, they got to find out, making sure they're not sick, with the beef, because we went through that whole mad cow situation, and beef was getting a bad name, and then they start showing pictures of where the animals were being poisoned and they were falling down. You think that could be going in your system if they harvest these hogs and these pigs that are sick. Remember the avian bird flu? They had the chicken. It's always something that's going on that we have to be mindful of. And they always say, the safest way for you to know what's in your food is to grow your food. Grow your own vegetables. Get on a farm and raise your own cows and your own hogs and your own chickens. And let me tell you something. Fresh chicken does not taste like store-bought chicken. I'm just letting you know. Store-bought chicken is not even yellow. It's got a kind of got a wonky color to it, if you ask me. And when you get a fresh killed chicken, I used to say, you're running around like a chicken with their head cut off. Okay, first time I saw that, they run around, they wring their neck like this, and then they break their neck, and sometimes the chicken just be all around. They just run around till they drop dead. Or like my grandmother used to do, she had she said it was a butcher knife. It was a hatchet. That wasn't a butcher knife. That was a hatchet. And my great grandmother was a little tiny woman. She could take the handle of that hatchet, and she said it was a butcher knife. And she would get that chicken and just shut up. And chickens don't have veins, so they don't really bleed unless you half cook them. Ain't that the worst thing? When you go bite into some chicken or whatever it is, especially poultry, and it got red around that bone. They didn't cook that, and they don't use a thermometer. And I found out, and I realized that even watching all these cooking shows, of course they make the most beautiful meals, and they got the pantry full of everything you want to make. They got the garden, they got the fruits and the vegetables and all this kind of stuff, and all the fancy kitchen utensils and the pots and pans. But what about those of us who got the staples? And you can literally go into your pantry and come out with a meal that they think you have been working on it for like 2 days, because that's what we do. I had to learn. I mean, I could read a recipe and I could follow directions, and I can do that. But growing up, we didn't have cookbooks in the house. When you call grandma up and say, "Well, grandma, okay, how many cheeses can I put in the macaroni and cheese? What do I do first? Grandma, auntie, okay, I want to make some collard greens. What's the best kind of meat?" And that's how we learn. We learn how to pass down the recipes. We share them with the kids, and I'm just over the moon. My 2 young grandchildren are learning to cook, and they come and they'll help me in the kitchen, and that's good, because they need to have that kind of skill. You need to teach your kids how to cook. Fellas need to learn how to cook. They used to say the best chefs are men. I'm like, okay, if that's what you believe, if that's what help you sleep, because men can cook. My son, he can cook. He throw it on. He's a smoker. And not a cigarette smoker, but a smoker. So I actually had my own smoker till he came in and said, "Oh, Ma, what y'all doing with a smoker? You don't need to have a smoker. I need to have. You need to bring that down to my house. Bring that." So he wanted to smoke a turkey. And I said, "Okay, you smoke a turkey for me." And I said, "Smoke one. I just want a small one, smoke a turkey breast or whatever." He smoked, and I'm thinking this child gonna bring me back my smoker, my smoker grill. And it doubles as it has the racks in it and everything. So one day I just happened to ask him. I was over there. I forgot all about the smoker. Really, I did. And And I was over at his house and we were sitting in his backyard. And I said, wow, you got a smoker. When'd you get that? He said, when I took it from your house. Wait, so technically that is my smoker. This is why I have not been smoking food. He goes, oh mom, you don't need this. He and his family really think my kitchen and pantry is Shay Mom and Pop's country store. And I'm like, what makes you think that you could just come in here like, oh mom, it's just you and my dad. You just cook enough food for everybody. And so you don't need the smoker. You don't need these things. I thought, and I'm like, oh, and he had a plan. He had a plan for shopping at my house. At me and my, he would come in and he get my grocery bags out because I recycle. We've been recycling. Back in the day, they called it hand-me-downs. Now it's recycling, and we like that. I don't care. He gets the grocery bag and he tell the little kids. He said, "Oh, y'all get the low stuff, and me and your mother will get the high stuff." I'm like, "What's the low stuff, honey?" He said, "Oh, down here, with the stuff you got on the pantry floor, you know, because you got 12 packs of toilet paper, you got all these paper towels, and what else do we need? And so and such and such, you know." And I'm like, dude, really? Because just so you know, parents, our kids will grow up and they'll go and have their own families, but if you're on the planet and you're their parent, they're gonna always need some kind of love, some mother love, some father love, some uncle love. And after a while, I just resigned myself to realize when I go to the store, get enough that he's gonna come and take it. And this was another thing they used to do. And don't be calling your parents when they're in the Costco. This is what he do. Hey, mom, where you and dad? Where you and pop? I'm like, we're in a Costco. Oh, good. Can you give me 2 cases of water and a couple boxes of diapers? They would always, and I kept saying, why y'all send me? Because they had twins. The twins were in diapers. So you got to get 2 boxes of whatever it is. So, you know, we would get the 2 boxes of diapers and, you know, whatever else we could. Okay, wait, mom, I forgot this. Can you give me so and so and such and such? Can you give me so and so and such and such? That's why I call Costco the $400 store. Because you can go into Costco and people shop like they got a small business. I bet you when Jay and his people go into the grocery store, they have one of the flatbeds. They just put the big screen TVs on, and you can see the people who have small businesses. And I actually asked a couple of people in the Costco before when they got all this stuff stacked up and it looked like a little general store and they're right. And they go, yeah, I have a little store and I get all my stuff from here. And then they take it to their neighborhood and jack the price up. You know, you could get a bottle of water out of the Costco machine for 25 cents, still 25 cents. And then they sell the water for $1, $1.50. And don't let it be like a big event, like the Rose Parade or a football game going on, or, you know, whatever sports, because we live right outside the Rose Bowl. Literally, we could walk down. It might be take us 20 minutes on the walk, but we can literally walk to the Rose Bowl. And people go down there. See, when you're eating food like what Jen them got, you need to go down to the Costco. You need to go down to the Rose Bowl and walk it off. And we could do that. A walk around the Rose Bowl, I think, is like 2 miles, something like that. I've done it before, and it's a great way to exercise. It's a great way to meet people, like-minded people, because you're all out there together, you know. And we got to learn to continue to do good things collectively. Be a good example, you know, to the people in your neighborhood, because you, like I said, you never know who's watching you. The kids are watching you. Their parents are watching you, and let me tell you, them little kids have no filter, and you got to love them. You have got to love them. I remember when I was our grandson was playing football, and his cousin, they all in sports now, going to college. One of their cousins played for the USC Trojans. That's right, the Trojans, and the Bruins are the UCLA. He plays football, plays college football, and one of his little cousins, he must have been about, he was shorter than me because he had to look up, and he looked up at me and he said, "Oh, you got hair on your chin and it's white." That was the day I started going to the nail salon strictly to get my chin waxed and my lip waxed because little kids will call you out. You got hair on your chin and it's white. And when I would tell him the story, he said, I don't even remember that. I'm going, thank God you don't, because I was traumatized. You know, when the kids see you, it's because they'll rat you out in a minute. They'll rat you out. When we were kids and we answered the phone and it's a bill collector and it was, hello, may I speak to Mrs. So and such and such? And I say, who's calling? And they'll tell me who's calling, and they'll say, don't tell them I'm home. I said, Mama, they said my mama told me don't tell you she ain't home. She ain't at home. And she's like, why you tell that on the phone? Kids have no filter. That's why you got to be careful when you're talking to kids as they're growing up, as they're, maturing through life, and don't try to spell cuss words around them. Just don't try to spell it, because eventually they're going to know what that means and they're going to repeat you. This is when I knew you can't be cussing around these kids, because they will pick up on it. And sometimes this is just in my opinion, sometimes you have to cuss people out. Sometimes a cuss word is just really, really good. And when, like eating good food, you be, ooh, this is really good. You go, this is really good. When you hit your toe on something, that, oh gosh darn it, oh I hit my toe, that don't work. You got to, whoa Lord, you got to walk that off and help using a little profanity, but make sure the kids are not around. Make sure they are around when you take them to the, and I want to ask him, is this, can somebody, one of y'all call the restaurant and see if it's a sit down restaurant or if all of it is takeout? Because if it's takeout and they deliver, because they deliver food. And to me, that is just so lazy that you don't want to cook, you don't want to wash dishes, but you want to eat, you want to throw down, so you have them deliver your food in a tin foil on a paper plate, and you could just pitch it. Cooking is therapy for me, because when you think about it, cooking is almost like it's like sex. Okay, when you're involved in the intimacy of that, you're only thinking about that. What's going to be the end game? What's going to satisfy you here? When you're cooking, same way. You got to put the ingredients in together, and a lot of stuff that we learned how to do, and they got directions for it. I was like, I ain't know making macaroni and cheese had that many directions in it. I ain't know beans, pork and beans. And see, we used to make our own pork and beans, make them out of Great Northern white beans. And first time I saw pork and beans in a can, I was like, I didn't even know they made canned food. I mean, because we had my grandmother and my great grandmother, my aunts and them, they had like a basement pantry where they stored all this stuff in, and people would, work together like that. And so we could go in and get stuff from out the pantry. And then I to this day, and I was trying to remember, did I ever? I never saw cookbooks in my mother's kitchen until I bought her a cookbook. And she said, oh, this is really nice. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's really, I'm like, Mom, it's got recipes. She's like, baby, I don't need all that. You put a pinch of this, you put a handful of that, you get this. Oh, you put a little, and then they wave their hand over like this, like they got magic food dust. And that's when I say they don't put their foot in it. Some of them, I mean, there are times when you could sit down at the table and eat a pot of greens by yourself, because they would be that good. You pay for it later, because greens will kind of clean you out. And we don't have to. This is the problem I have with Black people cooking greens and cabbage and string beans and squash. All of that stuff you can eat raw. Why would you cook it till it's down to mush? Cabbage and greens and stuff, they're not supposed to be mushy. You can eat them like they are. I made a collard green and kale salad with some ginger snap peas one day, and left them in the thing in the pot, and I just whipped up a little olive oil or something else, and waved my hand over, put the Magic Mother Love stuff on it, and everybody was like, oh, and especially the kids. The kids were like, oh, this is so good. What you do to this? I said, I didn't cook it. It's all raw. And they couldn't believe it. And you can eat everything that the human body is supposed to consume. You could eat it raw, and even if you are a meat eater, even if you eat beef and pork and, and you like gamey foods like that, don't just wolf your food down. Like, I wasn't wolfing this down. Well, I couldn't, first of all. But some foods, you got to stop and take your time to eat it, to enjoy it, savor the taste, savor the flavors. You got to savor if it looks good raw on the plate in the pot, that's my marker. If it looks good before I put any heat to it, it's gonna be on. How people come to your house for dinner, and that's probably how it would be if Jay and them ever said, "My love, we'd like to have you come on over, and we want to have dinner with you. Come on over to our house." See, I would invite people to dinner, and see, COVID just messed that all up, and that was for everybody. Uh, I would cook food. People, you invite them to dinner, and they'll bring a bottle of wine, or bring me flowers, or some little trinket, and I love it. You can see all the little gifts that people have given me over the years, and they kind of know me, so they see it incorporated. And one of the things that I do is I want something out of my girlfriend's kitchens, and they take stuff out of my kitchen. My son took a smoker, just put it in the car. I said, "Who told you could take it?" He said, "Oh, Dad said he'll make sure I got it." And I was like, okay. So anyway, about the food and cooking, when people come to my house for dinner, they'll have a little trinket for me. I have a couple of families, and they will come like 5, 6 in a family. And they don't come with a bottle of wine or flowers. They come with tinfoil and Tupperware. Yeah, tinfoil and Tupperware. And now they got sophisticated, and they bring Ziploc bags. And I'm like, "Why you got tinfoil in your pocketbook? Why you got a whole roll of tinfoil?" And she said, "Girl, because and they would be like the last ones to be that would come in. Because on Sunday we start dinner we have dinner like at 2 or 3 o'clock. So they come in about 6 when they know everybody that had their fill, and they know how to make enough food. They come in and say, "Oh, we the late crowd. We'll just take the leftovers." I'm like, "So what about?" "Oh," and they would literally take the leftovers. I put out a nice spread, for a chick, that wasn't used to all that, and it was great that I learned at my mother and my sisters and my elder women in my family, that I learned from them, and my mother's girlfriends and my aunts. They threw down when my mother's older sister would come and stay with us, and she would come and visit for a while, and we knew we would wake up. How you make grits smell so good? Grits don't even have a smell. And I love the smell of coffee in the morning. I love the fragrance coming through now, I don't drink coffee, and I'm not allowed caffeine. Yeah, they got notes that people don't give Mother Love any caffeine. Could you see me on caffeine? You think I'm spastic now? Oh, on caffeine. And then they'll call me. One of my girlfriends, she and her kids would come over on Thanksgiving and at Christmas time. And and I asked them, I said, "How come y'all you don't cook Thanksgiving dinner?" And she was like, "No, because my kids say my food don't taste like Mother Love's food." And they said, "This is the only time we get a home cooked meal is when we come to your house." And I thought that was pretty sad, because we can solve a lot of issues at the dinner table. Sometimes when they get a little taste, they get a little drunk, they get a little crazy, and they start spilling secrets. It's like a repast all over again, and they would come, and for the most part, they would behave themselves. We done had a few fights break out at dinner time, or fighting on a tree lawn, and you know who you are. I told you, you can't do stuff in my house. They literally got into a fight at a baby shower. And I said that was the craziest thing I had ever seen in my life. Okay. I gotta wait. Hey, baby.
Mother Love.
Hey, this is Jay Gordon. I've been talking about him all afternoon.
Okay, I need to adjust this a little bit and get some volume. You're gonna look at the ceiling for 1 second.
Okay. You got the mirror. You got the fan, the fan in there.
Let me see.
Well, hit that one. Okay. Okay, I'm just waiting for him to adjust the camera. Just move it over a little more. I got your elbow and your shoulder. Yeah, I got your face. I got your face. I got your face. There's your face.
Oh, Mother Love, let me adjust you a little bit. We're using a different device.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's see. It's not going to be perfect, but who needs perfect, right?
We don't need perfect, baby. We need excellent.
It was a long road with you.
Oh, wait a minute. I've been telling them I don't eat everybody food. Look, and my executive producer, one of my executive producers, he said when the food came, they didn't even tell me the food was here yet, right? They didn't even tell me. So I get up and I'm like, I smell food. And I remember that you guys were gonna send me some grub. And
Yeah.
I get up, he got a plate this big giant. I'm kidding you not. He got a hollow leg. I don't think the dude actually has a stomach. I think he just eat and go down to his feet, and then he could eat some more, and it might get up to his knees. I don't think he got like this part. He ate everything. He tried everything. Your
Really.
salmon, smoked salmon, is on point, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
The macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
And I don't eat everybody macaroni and cheese. No, neither. I only eat one person
Well,
outside of my family's potato salad. And that's my girlfriend Betty. She
yeah,
make. I want to eat food that tastes better than mine.
I
That's
got
what I like. That's my moniker. You know, if it
I
tastes
got
better than mine, because I throw down. And people always say,
yeah.
"Oh, mother love, you should have a restaurant." I'm like, no, I shouldn't. I ain't y'all not gonna tell me what y'all want to eat. Now, are you? Let's tell people about your life and where you came from.
Okay, first of all, this was a quick put together interview, and it took a long time getting to you today. I want to thank Cynthia Busby
Absolutely.
from Busby Promotions. She's my publicist, and we had a conversation the other day, and she was asking me, my goals for this year, for 2024.
Wait,
And
don't go. No. No, she ain't the interviewee.
okay,
I'm gonna start from the beginning. And I love Cynthia. That's my sister friend. I want to know about you growing up, at 11 years old, where you came from, what kind of family background you come from.
okay.
Tell us a little
So
bit about Jay Gordon.
okay, so this train here tells my story. Okay, and the name of my company, Cheltenham, Smokey Cheltenham Barbecue. I grew up down a little dirt road in Cheltenham, Maryland, and there was a train going down the middle of the neighborhood. You know, and my first memory as a child was my mother coming down that dirt road, and she was crying, and it was when Dr. Martin Luther King had passed away. I think I was about 2 years old. So my whole
You
life,
remember that?
that was, and that's a lot of people's first memories in life are something tragic, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
that's the first memory. So, and growing up, small town down the dirt road, there were only 9 houses. My grandfather built his house, then my father built his house, my uncle built his house, another aunt and uncle built their house. So out of the 9 houses, there were 6 of the houses, we were all related. So, growing up, how people talk about the community and how you had to, everybody could discipline you, but just imagine being in a community where your neighbors were your aunts and uncles.
You weren't getting away with anything.
That's
Like
right.
never. And
Yeah,
parents have a way of knowing what kind of skullduggery you up to,
that's right.
So you really couldn't do anything. So
That's right.
that was a good thing because it gave you a
Yeah,
solid sense of family and community at the
that,
same time. And
yeah,
that your parents and your aunts and uncles, and our people, they're like unicorns. They don't even
yeah,
have folk like that. Well, not too many of them. There's still people that raise their kids from the old school. Like, could
yeah,
you imagine somebody telling your mom and your daddy, you can't whoop them?
yeah, yeah.
Look, my
That
mother
didn't
used to
happen.
whoop our friends. She
Yeah,
didn't care if it was a child and one of us was getting whooped, and everybody got a whooping. They run out the house. But that was cool. So
yeah. So
you got the sense of community. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
yeah. So that was my humble beginnings, and our playground was the woods, in the back, So that community, that very very small community in Cheltenham, Maryland, that molded me and made me the person I am today. And unfortunately, I never. I was a little knucklehead at times. I never really got in any real trouble, but when I turned 18, my father was like, "Look, you're not going to listen to me, so." I'll tell you what, I'm putting you out. He said, but I'll tell you what, either I'll put you out on the street or you go into the army. He's one of those fathers. My father
Oh
was a man.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
he was a man's man.
Let him
You
play.
know? And so he told me, he was like, if you go into the army, they'll feed you, they'll put a roof over your head, they'll put a few dollars in your pocket and they'll help you become a man. And that's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. you know.
Well, thank you for your service. I want
Yeah,
to thank
thank
you
you.
for your service. And it's a
Yeah,
good thing
thank you.
you're good looking because people in the military and the police officers and people that strap on equipment to run and burning buildings and run to fight somebody you have never seen in your life, and you doing your duty and willing to sacrifice your life. I
Yeah,
hate the way this country treats our veterans
yeah,
and their family. That is just ridiculous. You could
yeah,
give a tax break to the top 1% forever, but you don't have any money in the military budget to make sure that our military and our veterans are safe and well taken care of. When
yeah,
they told us that the soldiers weren't getting paid because of the craziness in Washington, that's the stuff
yeah,
that gets you so mad you want to bite nails. So
yeah.
again, I thank you for your service and all of the service
Thank you.
people. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
now have you always had did you always know that you wanted to be a chef? Or how did
Um,
you get into
no,
barbecue and cooking?
and you know what? I got started. I used the phrase that you might hear. I didn't choose the game chose me.
Yeah, yeah.
So really not knowing how to cook, when I moved to LA, I started working at a hotel downtown, and
Mhm.
I did some ribs, took them to work, and people were like, "Where'd you buy these?" And they couldn't believe that I did them. And to me, it was something simple. I didn't know anything about food, the science behind barbecue or whatever, but
Mhm.
that was my jump start. That was the spark,
Yeah.
and then I started doing office parties at the hotel, and
Mhm.
office meetings and stuff like that. And, um, just seeing people enjoy something that I was doing,
Mhm.
and that was only 10 years ago, so that sparked my passion. And now, and that's why I say it's never too late to find your passion, because I was almost 50 before I found the thing that made me happy. And it
You
turned into,
over 50?
I'm a mother lover. I have a birthday coming up. I'm a lot closer to 60 than
Oh,
I am to 50.
well, when is your birthday? Can we say happy birthday in advance?
My birthday is January 24th.
Oh, happy birthday to you
Thank
in
you.
advance. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
You're an Aquarian.
I am an Aquarius. I'm right over
My
that line.
husband is an Aquarian.
Oh yeah.
I'm an earth person. He's a water person. So earth and water make mud, and I like getting in the mud. There's just something therapeutic about wet dirt squishing through your feet, through your
Yeah.
toes. I know it's sick and twisted. Okay, we'll go.
Hey,
We'll go
yeah.
another.
And let me tell you something about wet dirt squishing through your toes. My first job, going back to growing up, I was about 11 years old, and my first job was carrying water for a lady in the neighborhood named Miss Gertrude,
Mhm.
because she didn't have running water. So I
Oh,
carried water for her, and I chopped wood, and that molded me also. It was, and I joke with people sometimes and say I invented bottled water, because at first we started with the buckets, then she would take empty milk jugs, and I would go to the creek and I would fill milk jugs with water
uh-huh.
before they had bottled water.
Mhm.
So it's just the humble beginnings. Really, really, I keep saying it molded me. It was like growing up down Cheltenham Road, down that dirt road with the train going through it. That molded me to be the man I am today.
So here you are, and the train is running through your neighborhood. What
Yes.
what what allowed you to settle on Smokey Cheltenham? And I used to work for the phone company. I thought I knew all the little cities. I had never heard of Cheltenham.
It is funny you say it right though. Most people call it Chitlam or something like that. But
And you know they're gonna jack it up. You know they're gonna jack it up.
yeah,
It took me like about I said, am I saying this right? And I kept calling it Shetland.
yeah,
Cheltenham. I said, that's not it. It's Cheltenham. So I broke it down.
yeah,
Shell, the number 10, and ham.
yeah.
Cheltenham.
There you go. Well, I settled on Smoky Cheltenhams because with barbecue, smoking the barbecue, and Cheltenham Road, that little road that I grew up down, and that was perfect. And it's paying homage to, my folks back home, because, you know, again, that's my humble beginnings,
And
so
so
everything I do, so the
it's
same way,
great.
like,
Mhm.
yeah, so one of my goals is like the same way NWA put Compton on the map. My
Mhm.
thing is I want to put
You
Cheltenham on the map.
Well, you got them on the map now because this
Definitely.
program is heard and seen all over the world, and you know they think I know everything, and they think I know everybody. I tell them I don't know everything. I know
Yeah,
everything else. and I don't know everybody. I know
Yeah.
everybody else. And that keeps you humble. When you come from that, and that's what ticks me off about people that transplant from wherever they come from to come out to LA, and they go through all this whole big phony thing. And it's not the people from LA that act like that. It's the people that come from someplace else and
Yeah.
think that's how they're supposed to act. They're ashamed of their background. They don't want people to know. I used to tell my family all the time, we ought to go into show business because I'm not even the funniest one in my family. I was not the funniest one. And I'm like, if I'm not the funny one, I was the pretty one. They were hilarious. And they
Yeah.
were like, how people will say, oh, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. And then they go to do it and they go, I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
When did you know that smoking was going to be your thing, Jay?
Yeah. Again, when I saw people enjoying it, and really, I'm a YouTube baby. I went to YouTube University. Everything I learned about food was, off of YouTube, because East Coast, I'm from the East Coast. We didn't know what tri-tip was. We didn't have, or if we had tri-tip out there, I'd never heard of it.
Mhm.
So out here, as I started my barbecue journey and started growing, I would just YouTube stuff and start doing. And again, that satisfaction, mother love, of having somebody eating your food and really enjoying it. And here it is, 10 years later, we're kind of like McDonald's. I can't put a number to it, but we've probably served literally maybe 25, 30,000 people over 10 years. And the majority has been this past year because we've been extremely busy. 2023 was good to us in the way of business wise. We really pumped, business.
And that's a testimony to your grit, and a testimony to the people that are around you, because a
Yeah.
lot of businesses went out of business. A lot of restaurants, a lot of stores, you would have never thought would have been hurt by this. What
Yes.
when you were going through the pandemic, you've been doing this for 10 years. What kind of challenges did you have, and what kept you guys focused on, we can make it through this and we'll be all right?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good question, because we didn't make it through the pandemic. Real briefly, I actually got hurt at work before the pandemic, but I had the barbecue as my side hustle.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
once I got hurt at work, when you're hurt and when you can't go back to work, you can't run a business, you can't do anything when you're looking for the former job to do the right thing,
Mhm.
workers' comp and stuff like that. So literally until November of last year is when I started the business back up. I was finished with everything with the hotel and everything in November. So in the last year, I got the business back up, got my licenses and everything back straight. And from
Mhm.
November of 2023, I'm sorry, of 2022,
Two.
I'm sorry, I'm still saying last year,
Right.
2022 until now, we've really grown. And so it was a challenge. The pandemic was a challenge in many different ways, but then even getting starting back up, the food industry still hadn't rebounded. You know,
Right.
so so some of the challenges I faced was, starting the business back up, getting people to trust food again,
Mhm.
and navigating through this new thing. And it was just it was a learning experience. I'd say in my 10 years, within the last year or so, I've learned so much more than I've learned in the previous 9 years.
I want to ask this too. Is your restaurant, can you come in and sit down and eat, or is it all takeout?
Yeah, we're caterers, so we don't have a brick and mortar.
Oh,
You know,
okay. So
so
you
we
make it and bring it to us.
I make it and bring it to you. And we've been fortunate. This past year,
Mhm.
we've done a lot of county contracts. So really, that was our saving grace.
Mhm.
We registered as a vendor with um, the local, federal, and state governments. But the county, having those county contracts, really revitalized our business. So that was the key. We saw an opportunity and we took it and we ran with it.
And are storming. Let me tell you something. Like I tell you, I don't eat everybody's food, and I
Yeah,
know that it's a I don't know it's a sense of satisfaction and a real sense of trust when
yeah,
somebody will sit down at your table and eat your food. They're taking something and putting it in their body
yeah,
because they trust you.
yes,
They
yeah.
trust you. And
Yeah.
that was when you said, coming back from the pandemic, and you said, I mean, what you said about the food and being able to trust food again. And
Yes. Yeah.
that was a big factor. And I kind of felt sorry for people who didn't know how to cook, but they were doing what you did. Go on YouTube, they'll go on Facebook and ask for a recipe. And I love the cooking shows. Do you watch any of the cooking shows? And how
I
come you don't have one for your catering business? I'm just saying.
I like the cooking shows, and actually, there's a series that people should check out called The Bear. It's about the restaurant industry, and it's realistic. I was fortunate enough to work in a couple of restaurants before I started back up,
Mhm.
just to see how the restaurant world works, and it's a different animal. Food in general is it's really it's something that you have to love to do to
Mhm.
really succeed in it. You can't go into food just to make a dollar. You know, you
Oh, no, no, no. Mm-mm.
you really
Mm-mm.
have to love, and you have your food has to, when people taste it, they have to feel that love coming from it. If,
Right.
if you know what
And
I
it's
mean.
and when you're passionate about what you're doing, you're
Yeah.
mindful about what you're doing. I
Yes.
always cook like this. This is either this is going to be, what if this is the last meal I fix for people? I want them to go. I want to go out with a
Yeah.
bang, and to sit at someone's table and eat their food
Yes.
says to you, I trust you. And I
Yeah.
trust you enough that you're not going to do anything to hurt me. And then when you see, you a lot younger than I am, and we had to be from the clean plate club. You had to eat everything on your plate. Don't be wasting food. And this is food. I'm telling you, I would pre-venture to say, if we went followed you and your group around to one of your catering events, we could see people breaking their food in a Ziploc bag, wrapping it up in some tin foil. Cause we taking this home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is such an intimate relationship. People don't
Yeah.
realize how I compare cooking with sex. Well, not really sex, but the finishing part of sex. Because you ain't thinking about that one thing. Well, see, you know what I'm talking about. You ain't thinking about the world collapsing. You
Well,
don't care
I
about your
compare
kids. You don't care nothing about it rain outside. The front of the house could be on fire. You be like, wait a minute, hold on, I can get it. And when you're cooking, you're like
yeah.
that.
Yeah. And
Oh
food.
my God, it
Yeah.
comes out perfect. And I would say when
Yeah.
it looks good raw, when you can make food look good raw, you know it's gonna be the bomb when it's ready. So
Yeah.
I think you're gonna be my new salmon person that I come and get smoked salmon from. No, I
Right.
don't have to come and get it. I can have it sent to me.
You can
Hey,
have
Miss Busby,
food.
Alton Garnett and Sam was on the line with us. Your Cynthia says your food is delicious. The baby back ribs, the hot links, the brisket chicken. Wait a minute, you didn't smoke the macaroni and cheese.
So the macaroni and cheese, my wife, she does the macaroni and cheese, and I smoke it, right? So I always joke with her that I spend 10, 12, 15 hours doing the food. She, not to downplay what she does, but she does that macaroni and cheese and some other things. But at the end of the day, people, and they don't call it mac and cheese. They always say that macaroni and cheese. That mac
That
and cheese was
macaroni,
the
and I
bomb.
couldn't figure out what it was. And I
Yeah,
kept saying, this has a different taste to it.
yeah,
It has a
yeah.
different texture. You smoke macaroni and
Yeah,
cheese.
it's her recipe. Even when it's not smoked, it's great. But
Mhm.
that smoke does a little something. And like you said, a lot of people they don't get what it is. It's like, what's this flavor? It's that smoke. That smoke
Uh,
does wonders.
and then see, and everybody cannot smoke. I mean, I would have never thought, and I'm a pretty decent cook. I would
Yeah,
have never thought to smoke macaroni and cheese.
yeah,
See, I told y'all people we learn something new every day on the Mother Love
that's,
Show.
that's
The
right.
macaroni and cheese. What has been? I'm like over the moon about the smoked macaroni and cheese. What else can be smoked
Rule of thumb is
besides meat?
just about anything that can go in an oven can go in a smoker if it's done right. There are people, they smoke cake, they smoke pies, they smoke their desserts. You can smoke anything,
Not
anything, just about anything.
Speaking of desserts, I didn't see any desserts on the list. And we speaking of Cynthia Busby, she got Aunt Scent's praline pecan candy. She don't care nothing about my girlish figure. She bring me over a piece of this candy, and just looking at it, I can see I'm gonna gain weight. This is gonna run my blood sugar up through the roof. So the fellas tried it, and they said this is really good. So now, do you have her sweets, or can you add, or do you add, or will you add maybe somebody else's recipe to some of your things, like Aunt Sin's
Well,
pralines?
actually, my wife is the dessert person also. But let's go back to those pralines. I got one. They sent one to me, and I'm sure I'll check with Cynthia. I'm sure I was supposed to get more than one. I haven't eaten it yet, but it's sitting out there. After this interview, I'm gonna eat it. But
Wait a minute. She sent you one?
no, she didn't send me one.
Oh.
They you said they were roughing it off. I ended up with one of them. They said, here.
You can have this one. They probably probably did this
no,
to
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. My wife is in the background. She put up the number 2. That means she roughed off half
what's
of
your
it.
wife's name? What's her
Her
name?
name is Skylar. Her name is Skylar with the E.
Hi, Skylar Gordon. Skylar, can we just put her in so we just want to see?
Actually, I'll bring her up. But actually, it's funny. Her name is Skylar Jordan Gordon. So when I met her, she was Skylar Jordan, and then I put a Gordon on it. Here, come on.
That was none but the universe. That was the universe. How you gonna have a Jordan and a Gordon?
So this is my beautiful wife, Skylar.
His check cleared, didn't it? His check cleared. You are absolutely stunning. You guys make a great looking couple. Oh, see, and you're good looking, and your food is the bomb. I knew it was something about the macaroni and cheese, Skylar. I knew it. I said, this don't taste like my macaroni and cheese. And I make the bomb. I tell you, people come to my house and bring tinfoil or a Ziploc bag, and they be trying to scrape all the stuff out there. You know how you get the That's another thing about the macaroni and cheese. You know, when you bake the macaroni and cheese and people eat out the middle of it, and the sides are still, around it, yours comes loose all the way around. I didn't have to straighten up and off, and it was the same consistency. I'm talking about like, and I was having a love affair with the macaroni and cheese. How you all the chicken wings, the chicken wing tasted in my mouth. Shut up, mother love. Don't even. I just had to do it. It is really, really good, and I don't blow smoke. I ain't got time to blow smoke. I went to one restaurant. It had the nerve to be a barbecue restaurant.
Yeah.
But there wasn't anybody in the restaurant but another couple and my husband and I. It took this woman 20 minutes to come and take an order. And it was not like Dunkin' Donuts worth the wait. It was the worst. Everything tasted bad.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. Yeah. I mean, these flavors meld together. The macaroni and cheese and the baked beans, they go well together. The baked beans and the chicken go together. The salmon can just go in my mouth by itself. I'm just telling you. You told me that you smoke the macaroni. I would have never thought that one. Now I know the secret. Now I gotta go get my smoker back from my son, because he think he just come in and he get the high stuff and the kids get the low stuff. The low stuff is the toothpaste, all of this stuff. And I always kept a clothes for the kids, so when they come down, they don't have to be concerned about bringing clothes. So, and the hard workers, okay, I'm gonna go in the deep freeze. This is not a general store, man. What is wrong with you?
They come shopping at
He got 4 kids, and he still come to the house like, he could just shop, and now he got his kids doing the same thing. I got stuff in my deep freeze I would never buy. I don't buy packaged food. If I can't pronounce it, I'm not eating it.
That's right.
All this I can pronounce. Tell people how they can get in touch with their catering service, and that's all right. Oh, and she was like, okay, I'm through. I'm done. See you later. Trust me, Scott, I'm the only other woman you could trust with him. I'll put prop him up at the door. If you don't win, I keep bail money. I keep bail money in case we go. We have to call. Skylar. Okay, and I'm telling you, okay, Jay did this. I just went along with it. Can you come get us out of here? I keep bail money in my shoe. And I think that's why I stay in a controlled environment. This is a question for both of you. In a relationship, especially in a marriage, there's the crazy person and the person that takes care of the crazy person. Which one are you, Skylar?
I think I'm the person that takes care of the crazy person.
Look, wait a minute. He over here.
No, I'm shaking my head because this one right here, I say this is my angel because this one is like she takes care of everybody. She's the one. This is the one to have on your side.
You could see it in her face. You could see the love in your eyes. And that. How long you guys been married?
Go ahead with it. Go ahead with
it. Do you remember?
He always remembers the numbers better than I do.
Well,
we've been together for almost 15 years and married for almost 10.
Okay, see, I could come up to y'all and I could still probably smell the milk on y'all breath.
Yeah.
Y'all just new babies. Y'all, And who knew first that this was going to work? Who knew first that the relationship was going to work? Because it's pretty hard. I work with my husband and I fire him every other day. I'm like, you know what? Go somewhere else. And he thinks I'm his hobby and his child. After you get a certain age, he gonna start acting like your daddy. Where you going? What you doing? Why you got that on? I'm like, what? You think I want to be bothered with somebody else? Like half the time I don't want to be bothered. See, my husband gonna get into heaven though. God, he ain't gonna have nothing. God gonna say, come on, brother. You took good care of this crazy woman. You made sure she was all right. Me, I'm gonna get to the pearly gates, and I know I'm gonna have some explaining to do. Oh, you right here. Okay,
yeah.
Brother, come on in. I'm like, well, Dad. He's how crazy my husband is. He gave me an apron when we went to New Orleans. He gave me an apron that says, "Don't make me poison your food." Because you think about it. You think about that. People eating your food is a huge commitment of trust and love. I hate, since the time they came into business, I don't care what they say, they can hate me all day. I hate Church's chicken. It don't even taste like food stuff. It tastes like, Velveeta that they keep calling cheese. Velveeta is not cheese. Cheese is cheese. Velveeta is something and molded it. And then they used to call it government cheese. They weren't fooling nobody.
And Velveeta stays on the shelf, doesn't need refrigerating.
Now what does that tell you about Velveeta?
Let me answer both of your questions.
Okay.
The one about which one of us knew first, we had one of those fairy tale meetings and fairy tale marriages, I think. She's a professional singer. I worked at a hotel. She was on tour with Tina Marie. We met and we became friends.
Oh my God, God rest her soul. She was such a sweet lady. Oh my God.
Yeah. So we became long distance friends. And somewhere along the way, we fell in love over the phone, kind of. And somewhere she did the taboo thing. Somewhere along the way, she would say, when we get married, and I didn't run. And so, that's and we our conversation kind of like went, even though we had met in between there, but our conversation generally went to, we just started talking about when we get married, and there wasn't, we just knew, we knew each other's character, we learned each other, and our conversations just kind of like went there. So, 5 years later from when we met, when I popped the question, I knew the answer. I knew what the answer was going to be.
I'm gonna ask you to marry me, and I know you're gonna say yeah.
That's right.
And when you know. I always knew that my husband was going to be my husband and the father of my children. I had one baby, it hurt so bad. I said, I don't know why they call it labor, because this is like a job. And I wasn't really confident as a mother at the time, and then when we got, because we've been together since 1972. We just celebrated our 50th year, October the 8th. Thank you very much. And people always say, and I'm sure that you get this, oh, I want a husband like you got. He's so nice. He loves you so much. And then you think, are you willing to put in the work?
Yes.
I'm not that much work. I'm gonna work hard sometimes, but I'm not.
and working together is a whole different bird. It's a whole
it definitely is. It definitely is.
And somebody's got to be at the top. I keep saying I'm at the top. He thinks he is. That's my job to let him think that. Okay.
Takes a lot.
That's what we do. Keep the peace, because it's not even worth that. And the best thing about your relationship and ours is the same platform. We had the opportunity and the privilege to marry our friend.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a dear friend. We were, like I told him, I said, I would never divorce you or anything like that. But I'm telling you, if this marriage fell apart, I think I would be more broken up about losing my friend than my husband because
Yeah.
he is a dear. He is a dear person. He like your wife. They'll take care of everybody, so you know you're gonna get well cared for. You know, and I know you. Do you have to have a bet or anything when she out there? Do they know to stay away from her?
You know what?
He's 6'6".
Yeah,
And
I'm
so
6'6", so sometimes and
Okay.
and I'm 5'4".
yeah, so
Okay, I shouldn't even got that visual. Y'all should have told me that.
but you kind of turned this into the mother love show for real.
Mother loving love.
No, but you know what? You know what, mother love? I mean, I don't have to, because she's so sweet. She has a subtle way of letting people know I'm taken, thank you, and I'm happy. And she's so sweet about it that people don't get offended. So I'm not even worried about,
kill them with kindness.
She kills them with
And in
kindness.
my case, because my husband is my manager, if I go out and I go into an event and I'm waiting for him to park the car, whatever, they go, "Hey, mother love, where's Kennedy?" I'm like, he ain't attached to my hip. Are you out here by yourself? I know Kennedy ain't just left you go out here by yourself. I have to in a controlled environment because
and
I'm like her. She's subtle and she could just kill him with kindness. I'm like, if you don't get your slap happy behind away from me, before I cut you,
Totally opposite.
total opposite. And I give this up. Y'all know, don't even try it. And I think it's funny when women say, "I bet you I could pull her husband from her." I said, "Have at it. Go. Just make sure she can't have babies. That's fine. Knock yourself out. That way I can pace myself for the duration." Now the women thought it was funny. He didn't think that was so funny. Because when you think about it, you know who really needs a wife? Women. Wouldn't you love to have somebody get up and make sure your breakfast is ready and everything, and you don't have to do nothing but get up and look pretty? Yeah, right. See, and you got the kind of pretty that even if you just rolled out the bed, you would look pretty.
Aww.
And if I was not confident in myself as a woman, no, I couldn't even be jealous. I couldn't do anything but root you on and celebrate. Let me ask you, because you're a caterer, what's the biggest event you've ever catered? And do you?
Ooh. Yeah, that's probably. I'll tell you probably the most challenging was we've done JetBlue at LAX. We've done for the 4th of July the last couple of years, and we just did Thanksgiving. And what we do is for the flight crew, we'll deliver 3 deliveries a day. So we basically feed the whole JetBlue crew all day long. So we'll do like an 11 a.m. delivery, a 2 p.m. delivery, and then a 6 p.m. delivery. And that's challenging too. And it's different food. They get to pick what they want off of the menu. And so that's really, and so it's 430 people in a day and rotating and just staying on point and having that food delivered hot and exactly what they want and just getting back and making sure the rest of it's ready to go and everything. So that's been the most challenging, but one of the most fulfilling because the people with JetBlue at LAX, they're very appreciative, and our food is homemade. We don't do the box mashed potatoes and all the rest of the stuff. We do homemade.
Oh, you can tell that.
Yeah,
You
and so
tell that.
yeah, and so a lot of times people are used to getting food and there's some great food out here. I've tasted some great catering food and everything, but a lot of times, people are used to getting things that aren't homemade. So when they get the homemade that the love is put in and they get all that, then, you get that repeat business,
And
so.
you could feel the passion in your food and even the way that you packaged it, and it came, okay, and I'm keeping the shopping bag and I am going to wrench out the little tin foil container. I'm just letting you know I believe in recycle. Because people think I just chew paper and drink green ink and run in the bathroom and roll out $100 bills. They don't even understand that we have jobs and is it a job for you?
It's, you know what? It's not. It's not. You know what? I eat, sleep, and dream about this. And really, the way I categorize it is something I love to do, but it's exciting to me because basically I say my whole day is troubleshooting. You know, I'll go to bed. I'll know, let's say if I have something for 100 people next week or 20 or however many people, you
Mhm.
know, in my mind, when I go to bed, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this on this smoker. I'm going to do this. And I have my day planned out. But then when I get up, there's always twists and turns and emails and other stuff. And I'm basically, except for the assistance of my wife when she's not touring or when she's not doing something else, a lot of time it's just me, you know, and literally just me sometimes. We've had some great help this year,
Mhm.
you know, from some friends and some other people that we've gotten help, and I really appreciate that from them. But for me, it's like my day is nonstop from the time my feet hit the ground until I go to bed, and
Mhm.
it's just troubleshooting and it's just enjoying. I mean, I get to do what I love to do, you know.
And that way, it's never a job. Because you know what job stands for, right?
Yes,
Just over broke.
just over broke.
And
Just,
we don't do just over broke. And especially when you know you have a passion for what it is that you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Now, do you guys have kids?
um, I have two sons from a
Uh-huh.
previous marriage.
Uh-huh.
My wife has been in the industry, the entertainment industry, since almost since she could walk, or since she could walk straight. You know, so
You
she's never had any children of her own, and I think and I can't speak for her, but I think it was one of those things of, if I have a child, and since I'm a touring artist, either somebody else is going to raise that child, or that child is going to have to be on the road with me all the time. You know,
that
but yeah, but we have God kids. She has a slew, and you know how many a slew is. She has a slew of nieces here, and
mhm,
they range from zero all the way up to the 20s. And
mhm.
you know, and so that's, you know, those children, the and a couple of nephews also, but it's
Mhm.
like, you know, that's our children. And I have a granddaughter now.
How old
She's
is
two.
your granddaughter? See, two?
She's two. Yeah, and of course,
You ain't gonna be both. Neither one of y'all are gonna be any good.
oh,
And y'all ain't
already
gonna be no good. She
we
gonna
already
have y'all wrapped around her finger, and
oh
they can look
already
at you, and you just know whatever you want. See, I'm the disciplinarian of our grandchildren. We have four. I'm the disciplinarian. They always call me the mean grandma because I'll say no in a minute, and my no is no. No is a complete sentence, and they'll go, "Well, we'll ask Papa." I said, "I wish you would." See, I got the kind of stuff. We went into a McDonald's after church because we had some little kids and they wanted McDonald's. They wanted McDonald's. He goes into the McDonald's, get the food, and the lady behind the counter said to him, "You're not from here." And we were in our hometown, and he says, "Well, what would make you think I'm not from here?" She said, "You don't look like you're from here. You're very well dressed." I was like, people in Cleveland us fly all the time. Maybe she was hanging around some bobo heads and some box crazy people. And
yeah.
the lady behind the counter asked him for $50. She said, "Well, will you give me $50?" He said, "Give you $50 for what?" My car broke down. He said reached for he went to go reach for his wallet because he thought about, okay, $50 ain't gonna break me, maybe. And I said, then he thought about, he said, my wife is crazy because he was gonna tell me. And the next thing he knew, I was gonna be jumping out that car window. Heifer, give me back my $50. I don't know who you think you're. He said, no, I'm not giving you $50. I said, why? He said, because I know how crazy you are. And I
Yeah.
ain't gonna have no incident out here with these kids because I got a butter knife and I wouldn't. When it's all
so,
said and done, and I'm sure
so
you're
that
gonna.
means when I supply food to you, I don't need to give you a knife. You got it.
Well, you
And
know what? And I gotta say this, people. I gotta say this. With your food, you don't need a knife.
thank you, Mother Love.
You don't need a knife.
Thank you.
And the barbecue sauce. Now, are you selling the barbecue sauce on the website?
Barbecue sauce. I make it. It's homemade. And let me give the plug to what you asked earlier. You asked about my contact information.
Mhm.
So all of my social media is Smokey Cheltenham's barbecue, and so that's Instagram, that's Facebook. My email is smokeysheltenhamsbarbecue@gmail.com.
Mhm.
And so everything is Smoky Cheltenham's barbecue, and that's Cheltenham with a C. We're done, everybody's gonna know that Cheltenham is Cheltenham, and it's pronounced like you say it, Cheltenham.
Cheltenham.
That's right.
About
Put an S at the
Cheltenham.
beginning,
Now,
Cheltenham.
have you gone back? Have you gone back home to see? Have they seen? Has your family seen your success?
You know what? The family back home, friends and family, they love the fact that I'm out in LA,
Oh
but
yeah.
doing what I'm doing and representing home. Hold on one moment.
Is
I'm
somebody
sorry.
calling
I
you?
can't see. No, 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 no.
Oh,
My wife was showing me something that somebody had said. I thought it was something important relating to this, just to see. But yeah. So my family and friends back home, the folks in Cheltenham and the surrounding areas, they love the fact of what I'm doing. I haven't been home since the pandemic.
mm.
Um, it unfortunately, things happen, and again, it's been like 3 years since I've been home, and we're planning. But see, I'm a little spoiled by this LA weather. I grew up with the snow and everything, and I used to love it. Whew, it cold.
I hated it, and I'm a winter baby. I was born December
Yeah.
29th. I just celebrated a milestone birthday,
Oh,
and
happy belated
thank
birthday.
you very much. And I like shiny things, and you sent me shiny things because I said I'm gonna keep my little tinfoil container, so that's my shiny stuff from the Gordons. I'm just saying. I just want you to know that. Now, do you cater just in the LA area, just in California, or have you ever traveled to cater?
Well, I haven't traveled Decatur outside of LA,
Mhm.
but I'll give a plug to Alton Garrett and Sam. I'm looking into their funk explosion and going to Vegas. I would love
Oh,
to.
in April.
I would love to go with Garrett Management, to Vegas for their funk explosion. So
Uh,
I'm going to have a serious conversation with them. I know they're looking for vendors, and I'm open to it. I have a nice big smoking rig that's on a trailer that I just got a few months ago, and I'd love to take that thing
ooh.
across state lines.
Ooh, ooh. So we got to plan
You have
for
to, because I saw your interview, and I know you're going to be like the VIP. Alton invited you, so you definitely going to be there, and we're
oh,
going to see you there too.
I'm gonna have my good hair on. I'm gonna put on a real supportive brassiere and put my money in my shoe. It,
A lot of people don't know what that is. The
what?
brazier.
Uh, Wait a
I
minute. Okay.
hadn't heard
Oh,
that
wait a
in a
minute.
minute.
And I did not know this. I did not know this. We got two granddaughters and two grandsons. And so I had said to my oldest granddaughter, she'll be 18. I got an 18 and 22-year-old grandchildren. I'm like,
Ooh, wee.
who are these people? And why are they coming in with that guy with gray hair in his beard? I don't know these people. And I said, oh, Ma, you funny. You funny.
Yeah.
And I had said something, and I said something about a brassiere. And she said, oh, I said, where do you get your brassieres from? And she said, what's a brassiere?
Yeah.
This was like a few weeks ago. I'm like, what? This is called a brassiere. She said, oh, a bra. I'm like, the whole word is brassiere. And she was like, they didn't have any concept. And see, have you ever even thought about training other chefs to become smokers?
You know what? Somebody asked me last week on New Year's Eve.
Mhm.
He moved into a house. He has a one of a kind smoker that's built out of brick, and he's like, I don't even know what to do. It came with the house, and so I'm seriously considering, because I'm learning my craft more, and I would love to, you know, help a few people, learn some of the art I have and learn from them also, because the barbecue industry or the food industry in general, we network, and there's no real competition. It's enough people to eat all the food everybody can cook. So that's one of the things I love. I love networking with chefs and other people that does barbecue, because it's always something to learn, and no two people do it the same.
No, they don't. And when you
Yeah,
don't, and when you're cooking for the money, it just doesn't taste the same. It
it,
really
it
doesn't.
definitely
And the
doesn't.
funk, okay, I just got the funkexplosion.com. You can go there. It's April 13th, 2024 in North Las Vegas.
Yeah.
She said, one of them said, oh, that was your wife. She said, Mother Love, you are hilarious. And somebody else said, this interview is fire. I'm so happy that you're getting the recognition that you deserve. Please
Thank
know
you.
that you guys are always welcome here on our platform. We
Yeah.
thank Cynthia Busby, who is just an awesome.
Cynthia is the bomb, definitely.
And
Cynthia.
she look good too, and she take wonderful pictures. And she is really I love her like a sister. She is my sister friend. And so please know that you are always welcome here. Such as we got the food on the table, the soup in the pot. You don't have to come and laugh at my jokes, but come often, sit deep, be one of Smokey Cheltenham's folks. That's
there you go. There you go.
I already fell in love with both of y'all. So, okay, that's a done deal.
And we fell in love with you too.
Oh, you know it's just love.
Let me real quick. So, her desserts. My wife does a lemon cake that is to die for, and she does these lemon bars that'll make you pucker your lips up before you smile.
See, you two, it's a good thing y'all good looking, because I know right now that you all, like Cynthia Busman, do not care about my girlish figure.
Yes, of course we do.
We'll put a couple of pounds on you.
Oh no, yeah, you know, y'all got food that when you smell it, you feel like I'm gonna gain like 3 pounds if I eat this whole. That's why I eat off a small plate.
That's smart. I do the same
thing.
thing.
Another thing I want to say. There's another thing I want to tell you, and then I'm gonna be. You know the food is good. If it look good raw, it's gonna be good when you get on your plate. You know the food is the bomb when you can eat it cold.
There you go.
I only want the microwave to touch this. I can eat this cold just like it is. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Gordon, Mr. J. Gordon, Miss Skylar Jordan Gordon, that is too.
There you go. You good. You good.
Very good.
I used to drive a school bus, and the first day of school, I asked all the kids their names, and when they get back on the bus, you know, go pick them up to bring them back home. I knew everybody's name, all 66 of them.
Oh,
really?
They were really impressed. That was before, you know, my we'll have that show another day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gordon,
thank you very much.
Sharing. Thank you, Cynthia, for bringing them to us. I cannot wait to meet you guys in person and have a good time. And just know, whatsoever you're doing. Oh, see, now you done started her. Okay, because you know I'm waiting on the lemon bar.
Okay, it's coming.
The lemon bars will come, but also I'm going to bring you some grilled vegetables. I'm doing grilled pineapples lately and grilled peaches when they're in season.
I love stone fruit, grilled stone fruit.
There you
oh
go.
my
there
God.
You go.
And you know, a lot of people don't do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't, and it's so easy. It is so simple. We don't have to eat all this junk and all this packaged foods. And it was good. It's good to know that you guys believe in cooking it from the beginning and cooking it.
Yes, definitely.
Taking it from raw to done to on your plate. It's gonna be the bomb. Hey, Samuel S. Quinn III. He always put all his whole government name up.
Samuel Quinn. Hey, Sam.
Thank you, guys. May the universe continue to open up and conspire for your great success. It has been my pleasure. Peace and blessings.
Thank you. The pleasure is all ours.
Thank you.
Y'all, you know why? Because y'all easily entertained, and I love that. Continue to be entertained with your crazy new friend, the talk show crazy person. Peace and blessings.